Welcome to another episode of Healthy Options. Today we have a guest who has been in the medical field for many years, and he's going to teach us a little bit about our title of the show called the Antioxidant Myth. It's really a very interesting idea because antioxidants are all over the place now. People are drinking juices and vitamins and so forth. And what he's going to have to tell us and teach us is actually going to bring up a lot of surprises in regards to this. I'd like to welcome Pat Watarai.
Yes, thank you for having me, Michael. It's really exciting to be able to share this information that really is going to put a new spin or just a paradigm shift on how we really think about the whole process of aging, the whole process of the antioxidant myth as we know it, and just really it'll open up a lot of new ways of how we look at growing old.
Now, tell me a little bit about your background. You were a medical technologist, right?
Yes.
Tell me what that is and what you did, basically.
Okay. I got my Bachelor of Science degree at the University of Hawaii way back when, and I worked in the field for about 25 years. Medical technologists, we actually are the ones that do the testing in the laboratories, mostly like clinical labs. But with our background, we also are capable of running the research or doing the research testing in the research labs. We're the ones that actually do the process. We do the testing and document all the findings that the research is doing. And so basically a medical technologist really encompasses a whole range of
the science.
The science, yeah. You know, even what you see as CSI, you know, those kind of people behind the scene is what trained medical technologists would do in that various fields.
So you would understand the lab reports, what they mean in regards to things being out of balance and so forth.
Yeah, you know, and that's what I was very impressed with this information because everything that I saw was true science, and it was science that was really peer-reviewed. It was something that I knew was reputable and the correct information.
Well, let's get into it. I know you wanted to talk about, was it oxidative stress first?
Yes, I wanted to just bring up the topic of oxidative stress because oxidative stress really has been known by doctors and researchers for decades that oxidative stress is what causes our bodies to age, and it causes over 200 known diseases or age-related diseases that we're faced with, you know, as we get older.
Like what?
Well, like for example, diabetes, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, liver disease, you name it. I mean, the categories go on that, again, researchers know that oxidative stress is behind all of these disease processes.
Okay.
So, and up to, you know, present day, we really couldn't do anything about the levels of oxidative stress as we got older.
Well, I thought antioxidants were one way to take care of that.
Well, that's what we're taught, and that's what we're led to believe. But unfortunately, the consumable antioxidants, or what we consume on a daily basis, that they told us it was good for us, it doesn't quite cut it. It's not enough to really affect the aging process or the age-related oxidative stress.
Yeah, I know something like if you had 100 molecules of vitamin C, by the time you ingested it and it got digested and then went into the bloodstream, maybe 2 of those molecules would be around to do its work.
Absolutely. There's a thing called ORAC value or ORAC index, which is the absorption index of a particular product, or for example, like vitamin C. It has an index to say, you know, how much of the vitamin C will be absorbed into the bloodstream and how much, quote, antioxidant protection you have. And the unfortunate thing about that is you need to absorb or ingest a lot of antioxidant to get a fairly antioxidant level. But again, what they've shown was that what they've discovered was that the antioxidant levels that we consume fights free radicals really on a one-to-one basis. So one molecule of antioxidant will fight one free radical, and then it's done. Whereas our body's own natural enzymes can fight free radicals on a 1 to 1,000,000 every second.
Okay.
Every second, every day, 24/7. Once your levels are up there, that amount of antioxidants that your body is creating will be enough to help fight off the age-related free radicals.
So we're talking the difference now in terminology of antioxidants, which is one category, versus antioxidant enzymes, which is another. It's like apples to oranges.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
There's no comparison.
Okay.
There is absolutely no comparison.
So these enzymes are something that people don't understand and know about.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's not been really talked about in the common information, because we really couldn't do anything about getting these enzyme levels up there, because even the enzymes that so-called that you ingest was not enough. Again, we go back to absorption. For the amount that you would spend, which is very expensive, by the way, that you would need to purchase to ingest, the amount that gets absorbed is very, very small. So it wouldn't do a significant impact on the levels of oxidative stress that your body is producing.
Okay. So what's the next part to this?
What I'd like to do is just go, we're going to segue to a video that I just wanted to show people that what oxidative stress is, and then we'll kind of comment on that after the video. This video was done by ABC Primetime back in 2005. It was a very good, informative video on what oxidative stress is.
Okay, if Dane can kind of sort of cue that up and we'll get that going. I think it's a very short look from the ABC piece that we got a chance to take a look at.
Okay. I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist. This is pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test. They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body.
Leading to disease?
Leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
As it's turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful.
It's really great to see what science is doing in terms of pushing the edge and understanding of antioxidants, antioxidant enzymes, free radicals, that type of thing.
Yeah, and again, like mentioned earlier, antioxidant has been just marketed really heavy. I mean, it's in just about everything and anything.
Vitamin C, juices,
you know,
fruits, goji berries,
Rice Krispies. It's just about in everything. And you know, the concept is there. I mean, it's good for you. It's supposed to fight these bad things called free radicals, which causes what we now know is oxidative stress.
And you have a slide, I think, that showed something like that.
So if we can kind of bring up the slide, you know, here's the thing. You know, again, all the scientists all know that most deadly diseases and the aging process itself is really caused by what is called free radicals. Now, free radicals cause this damage that is called oxidative stress. Literally, we're looking at the same thing as when you see iron rusting, you know, in the environment. That's what the same process is what's going on in our cells, and that destructive oxidation of our cell membranes and our cell interior makeup is what really causes our bodies to age. It causes the cells to maybe mutate and get into a like a cancerous process or diabetes, Alzheimer's, you know, and that again, they know that oxidative stress is what causes it. And you know, as to list a few, it says here, you know, we're looking at diabetes, heart disease, cancer, depression, Alzheimer's, I mean, you name it, liver disease.
Now, I recall in one of your slides here, you have the fact that this oxidative stress increases over time.
Yes, and again, segueing to the next slide that I want to show, this is a peer-reviewed research study that on humans that when they measure the oxidative stress, they measure it in terms of what is called T-bars. And as you age and you get older, the older you get, the higher your T-bars levels get. And the reason is because, number one, when we start, our aging clock actually starts from our mid-20s, as you can see, from the 20s up into 80. That's what the oxidative stress is increasing as we get older. And up until now, scientists could not bring it down.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
now, what we've been trying to do is to eat our way into trying to bring that down.
Right.
Okay.
But unfortunately, that's the myth.
Okay.
That's the myth, is that, you know, we can't consume enough for us to bring that oxidative stress down.
Okay.
So our next slide here that we can segue to is really, truly, we can't consume enough antioxidants in our diet to bring or to significantly lower the oxidative stress that causes us to age and causes the disease processes. You know, I mean, for example, like this slide will show that you need to consume like 87 glasses of red wine in order to come close to what we need to fight off the free radical damage.
At least you'd have fun doing it.
Well, maybe the first day, but the second, third, fourth, fifth, I don't know. I don't know if your body can handle that. You know, and hey, look, 350 oranges a day. You know, who can consume that? 11 pounds of blueberries. You know, I mean, vitamin C, you know, it was touted as one of the highest or higher antioxidants out there. But look, 120 vitamin C tablets a day. Who does that? You can't.
Right.
So again, your enzymes can do a much, much better job in fighting off the age-related oxidative stress.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'd like to do is maybe go into you know, what's the next step? What are we talking about here? You know, we haven't really, scientists or research has not been able to bring down oxidative stress until now. And one of the pioneering person that is involved with this study is Dr. Joseph McCord.
Who we saw earlier in the video.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I would like to just, you know, kind of highlight who Dr. McCord is. Back in 1969, he actually, in his the doctoral thesis, in his research, he discovered antioxidants. Oh, I'm sorry. He discovered the antioxidant enzyme superoxide dismutase.
SOD.
SOD, exactly. And it was such a significant finding that, you know, later on I'll show a video that kind of talks about his accomplishments. But it's through his discovery that we now know that we actually can lower the oxidative level to that of a 20-year-old. So the research has uncovered that the technology is there, the science is there, and this is all peer-reviewed, studies.
Now, and he's the one responsible for that?
Exactly, yes.
So he's just continuing on his research that started 40 years ago.
Back in 1969.
As a graduate student,
Yes.
and continued to just identify SOD, which is a antioxidant enzyme, which again you said it's 1 million times more effective than an antioxidant.
Exactly.
And that it continues to quench the free radicals 1 million times. How
per
often?
second.
Per second.
Per second, every day.
Okay.
24/7 while we sleep. We don't have to be eating anything while we sleep.
This reminds me of the geckos that eat termites. Like
Exactly. Or those who remember, those little Pac-Mans.
Yeah. But I mean, 1 million times a second, they're going crazy.
Yeah.
That's great.
So Michael, if we could segue to this next video.
The video, okay.
It'll talk a little bit more of what Dr. McCord's accomplishments are.
Okay.
And a pioneer in free radical biology. Dr. McCord is the discoverer of the key anti-aging enzyme superoxide dismutase. His role in the discovery is so significant, the enzyme is measured in McCord units.
When I was a graduate student at Duke University, my thesis research was the discovery of a new enzyme called superoxide dismutase. This enzyme had the odd function of scavenging free radicals in the human body.
For Dr. McCord's discovery of superoxide dismutase and his contributions in free radical biology, he was awarded the Elliott-Cresson Medal. This medal is awarded to distinguished inventors and scientists, putting Dr. McCord in the same company as Pierre and Marie Curie, Alexander Graham Bell, Orville Wright, and Henry Ford. Dr. Joe McCord has devoted his life's work to the study of free radicals, their role in aging, and the many problems associated with aging.
Free radicals were...
Pat, again, this is really exciting in the sense that we're seeing a transition from knowing about the importance of antioxidants as far as, foods and so forth, but actually knowing the limitations of it. And then next about how antioxidant enzymes can be the real savior, in a sense, in terms of really doing the job that the body was intended to do by taking care of free radicals.
Exactly.
Now, so the research is continuing to see how the antioxidant enzymes can be stimulated and affect different diseases, right?
That's correct. That's correct. And again, by understanding the technology and the science behind that, your body's enzyme can do, the efficient job that it was meant to do. Unfortunately, as we got older, these enzyme levels get lower and lower and lower. And because of our lifestyle, our diet, and and everything else, our oxidative levels go even higher. So we're being hit by a double whammy. Less protection, and we create more free radical damage.
Right.
So therefore, our oxidative stress goes up. But up until this technology or this science came about, we were not able to lower the oxidative stress in an older person up until now. So what the scientists and the researchers that are doing field studies on these known diseases, like, again, the diabetes, Alzheimer's, liver cancer, skin cancer, heart disease, they're all looking at Dr. McCord's findings and his discovery to say, how does it affect these diseases?
Right.
And how can we prove that his findings, his technology, his research affects these diseases? So we're basically having third-party people looking at Dr. McCord's research.
So what we're seeing then is his research being applied to different diseases, but his particular answer or way of stimulating the antioxidant enzymes is kind of a one-size-fits-all type of thing. I mean, you don't have a particular direction for cancer versus blood pressure, right? I mean, his discoveries are being applied in kind of a broad spectrum and affects a lot of different things.
Yeah, and to really hit on what you're saying is that, see, his discovery, his technology is not addressing the effects, it's addressing the cause. It's pinpointing the cause of the aging process. It's pinpointing, it's looking at the causes of these different diseases, and not looking at the symptoms. The symptoms, yeah. Right. Because after you're looking at the symptoms, it's too late.
Right.
So by addressing the cause and getting rid or affecting what's causing us to age is what the science is all about.
Okay, let's take a hypothetical. Let's say someone has high blood pressure. I mean, and it's one of the many diseases. So sort of playing with the visuals that came up where the free radicals are making holes in the cell, and the cell maybe deals with blood pressure in some shape or form, and the body's less apt to keep its blood pressure under control. You have a bunch of cells with holes in them that are not working correctly. And so he's discovered ways by which that free radical damage can be reversed.
Well, that free radical damage will be lowered.
Lowered, okay.
In his initial research, when he had these people in his study from ages 20 all the way up to, I believe, was 78 was the highest age, they all showed a reduction of oxidative stress to that of a 20-year-old. So when they compared the blood to a 20-year-old to an 80-year-old, they could not tell the difference between the two.
Okay, so now in regards to like blood pressure, I mean, it may be that somebody could have had a reduction in blood pressure. You don't really know. You're just saying that what they measured was a broad measure of the stress via the oxidative stress. It was lower.
Right,
at
the T-bars test, yes.
And so can you say that it can positively affect, all these other diseases, or is it just being tested, or what can the average consumer count on?
Well, again, the neat thing about this whole science is that they identify the bad thing, which is oxidative stress.
Right.
And this is the bad guy that's causing us to age, causing all these diseases. And if you put 2 + 2 together, and you have the technology to reduce oxidative stress, then chances are you're looking at a preventive measure to
all those other
things.
Okay.
The age-related processes can be slower. Why? Because you're reducing the damages in the cell.
Right.
Again, oxidative stress is the same as if you're rusting from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these free radical that's damaging your cell membrane, the mitochondria, the DNA, the nucleus, is a fact of life. We all have it.
I know a lot of this has to do with legality in terms of what can be said publicly because of the FDA and all that. Because I know drug companies, for instance, in order to say that this cures or this can lower your blood pressure, they spend millions of dollars on human trials to get then to the point where they can legally say this is good for blood pressure. And so has this technology gone through those kind of things, those trials at this point?
Yes.
Is that why you cannot say that, blood pressure can't be cured? Or,
right. Again, there are like 23 different universities and research facilities that are studying Dr. McCord's discovery to validate that, yes, it can affect these disease processes.
Okay.
And until those research is complete, then, again, on the legal side, Dr. McCord can't really say, yes, this is empirically will, cure this kind of like cancer or anything like that.
Yeah.
So again, so you're right. The research on these diseases has to be finished, complete, and done. But up until now, it's very exciting. It's very promising because we're talking about something that's really, when you think about it, really never been done before. And I believe a lot of the clinicians that have not heard about Dr. McCord's research really don't know that oxidative stress can be lowered. And
so now these research that has come out, are they legitimate or,
Oh, yeah.
How do you know they're legitimate?
Well, for one thing, when you see a research paper that says peer-reviewed, it's like a stamp of approval that this is a legitimate finding. This is been scrutinized by the peers within the research community, and there's an actual committee that reviews any research to say that yes, this is valid. No, there's some holes that we can't pass this as a peer review because it's not complete, or whatever might be wrong with it. So when you see the words peer reviewed, that findings is very significant.
I think I remember seeing something about American Heart Association or something like that.
Yes, there was a study done by Virginia Commonwealth that they did studies on Dr. McCord's findings on heart diseases, and what it really did was it showed that it was a significant reduction in the right ventricular overflow, which causes congestive heart failure. So,
okay.
Yeah.
We've got just a few seconds here. I want to thank Dane here at Palolo, Olelo, as well as Yvonne and Tom for all the help, and want to thank Pat Watarai also for bringing all this valuable information. We may just have him again on next time. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.